Okay, this is the third homework, and there's only one problem on it, and you're asked to generate the object that's shown on the top left corner as a surface. The three different views of this surface is given on the bottom right and bottom left corner, and this actually I've taken from a YouTube video. The dimensions are taken from there, and this fellow is doing it its entirety, but it's not. He's not generating surface. He's generating solid. Of course, one option is to create the solid and then extract the surfaces, but that beats the purpose, defeats the purpose of this particular homework where you're expected to generate surfaces. So the marker will actually make sure that you have not extracted the surfaces of the solid object. You have generated as surfaces. Now, there are many ways of doing this problem. And what I'm going to do, at least for some of these conical surfaces, the way I'm going to do that is generate two semicircles or maybe full circles, depending on which one I'm doing. Uh, and then use the multi-section surface in order to put the surface uh, on these two semicircles. The one in the middle, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to use uh, the surface of revolution. This is on purpose so that I do different things for you on this homework. Okay, you can do it any way you want as long as you generate the surface. Okay, so let's go ahead here and start with the part file. Immediately, I give it a name. Uh, Homework 3, problem 1, and then we say okay. It's generated here. Notice that I'm already in the wireframe and surface design. I'm not doing this thing in generative shape design. I'm doing it in wireframe and surface design. Again, it really doesn't matter where you do it. So I'm going to save this thing file, save management, save as on the desktop. Let me actually do it right here. New folder right there, and I call it homework 3. Homework 3. This is a CAD course. I'm going to put it in there. All right. So let me first generate for you this uh, bigger cone, truncated cone, the bigger one. Okay, that one. Okay, and the way I'm going to do that is, first of all, one of the circles I'm going to draw it on this vertical plane, which is the YZ plane. The other one is going to be on a plane which is 150 millimeters away. So let me check my units first of all. Tools, options. To make my job easier, I want to make sure that I am actually using millimeters, units. Yeah, millimeter. Very good. Okay, so let me create a plane, and those are planes or reference elements. So you select on it, offset from this plane, in the other direction, and 150 millimeters away. Okay, so on this plane, I will sketch a semicircle, which is radius, according to the drawing, 100. Let me see now. The drawing shows you that the surface is this surface that you're looking at says radius 100 millimeter right there, and the smaller one is radius 50. So to mention this thing, 100 millimeters. Yep. All right, exit. You just leave it alone. Now on this other plane, the YZ plane, we sketch same thing except that the radius is 50. Please note that you can also do things with doing half of this and then mirroring it, etc. There are a zillion ways of doing it. So you choose your own strategy. Good. Exit. Now, here is a multi-section, not sweep, multi-section surface. You click on it, you select this, and you select that. Make sure that the end, the direction of the arrows is the same. Okay, so we say okay, and there we go. Now I could have drawn a line in one of these planes and then revolved it about, for example, one of the axes. That would have been the alternative. All right. Now I do exactly the same thing on the side, the smaller cone. The only thing is that the smaller cone is 70, the plane, let's see now, the plane for the smaller cone is, yeah, also 150 millimeter. Good. So, but the radii are, let me see, check the radii. The radius of this cone based in this drawing is 25 and 50. Okay, 25 and 50. Okay, so let's go ahead and make another plane offset from this. This is also 150. Very good. So on this one, I'm going to draw a circle, radius 25. Oh, the center of the circle is actually 75 millimeters away, right? So let me draw the semicircle here, okay? Because you can see, if I hide this for a second, you can see that, okay, you can see that the center of this uh, circle is 75, halfway, exactly halfway in between. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, make sure that this is at the right spot, halfway between. From here to here should be 75. Okay, and then the radius of the circle is 25. All right, exit. Okay, now on this plane, on this plane, I will sketch exactly the same thing, except that the radius is 50. So another semicircle. We can make it concentric in just a second. Starting from here, for example, all the way there. You have to clean it up though. So this circle control that circle. We're going to make it concentric. Okay, and the size of it is 50. 50. Okay. Exit. All right. Now this other surface is hiding. So let me put it in the show mode right there. Now I'm going to do another multi-section solid going from this to that. Make sure the directions are consistent. And there you go. So what you see here is this piece. Now, I have to do a cleanup here. And there are many different ways of doing it. For example, I can say, okay, let's cut this plane with that, this surface with that surface. And the cutting is that in the drawing toolbar. So let me in operation. So under operations toolbar, the second one has a sub toolbar, trimming and cutting. I'm going to use cutting. So I'm going to cut this with that. But notice that I also say intersection computation. You'll see why. You say okay, and you say fine. Okay. Now, uh, let me hide this thing. If I hide that sketch there, that is the sketch for intersection. You can see that the black line is there. You can see that. So undo that, you see what. Now, I'm going to say split. You see that? Split that surface with the cutting element, which is that little piece that I use in order You see that piece that I created? So you said you show the intersection, and it says which one do you want to keep? I say the left side or right side, and there we go. When I check that box, says the intersection, find the intersection because I wanted to use it later on to cut this thing on the other side. Now, uh, one way to do this, the other side, is to just do mirror. So let's try it. So we're going to go mirror, this mirror, symmetry. Okay, that's fine. And this is road. Now, symmetry is what I want. I want this fellow, and with respect to that middle plane on the other side. The only thing is that notice that that cut, I have to do it again. So let's see if we can do that. If not, then we're gonna mirror also that sketch. Okay, sketch on the other side. Let's see if I can cut it here. I want to cut this with that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that will do it. So let me control that. That last uh, is the one. Yeah. So this one I'm gonna delete. Obviously that didn't work. So delete. Okay. Let me see if I can mirror this. Okay. So you know what? Uh, Maybe instead of cutting that surface with that, we cut the big surface, the big cone with that. Let's try that one before we give up. So that surface, the cutting element is going to be that. The problem is that I cannot select this part. Oh, maybe I can. Preview. Yep. No. Yep. That's good. There we go. So, as I said, there are many, many ways of doing these problems. So it's up to you. Now, uh, then I have to draw this upper cone. In other words, this one. I can do exactly the same thing. Draw a plane up here, draw a circle, and draw a circle down here, and then multi-section. But on purpose, I'm going to do it a different way. Okay, that's on purpose. So I go there. The dimensions are still the same, 150 above, 150 millimeter above for the plane, and the radii are 25 and 50. Okay. So what we're going to do is the following. I'm going to go back to this thing. On that vertical plane, see that? On actually on the, yeah, on that vertical plane, no problem. That plane is the XZ plane. I will sketch. Now, on purpose, I'm going to draw, well, first of all, I'm going to draw something like this. What is that thing? That is not a line, it is an axis. So later on, if I do a shafting operation, it uses this to rotate. But this is exactly halfway between these two, so I can dimension it. Dimension from here to there should be 75. That the only thing that it does is that it revolves about that axis, revolves something about that axis. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I want to draw a line here, all the way there. Let me clean it up. I want the dimension from this point to that line to be 25. That's the radius of the circle on the top. Okay. But not this dimension. Sorry, I want the horizontal dimension. If it, and maybe it's easier if I just deleted this. Let's do another one. Dimension, zoom in. Dimension from this point to that line. Yeah, that's the one that I want. 25. Good. And then down here from there to there, 50. From this end of this line to that, 50. Okay. And the height of this point from down here, 150. Remember that? Remember, this thing is 150 millimeter away from the horizontal plane. So another dimension from there to that horizontal axis, for example, that should be 150. Let me say, okay, there we are. Now, I exit. There is an axis here. It doesn't show it to me, but there is an axis. And as soon as I say shaft this, see that? As soon as I shaft this, it will shaft it about that axis. You click on it, you select this, and there we are. Except that I want it to go all the way around. So maybe 360. I'll change this thing to 360. Or I can mirror it if I wanted to, 360. Let's see, whatever is easier. Good. Notice that I could have done multi-section surfaces too. Now, the only thing is that I have to do a bit of cutting here. So let's see. Uh, Personally, I'm not very fond of the trimming. I like cutting better, but you can use trimming if you want. So let's see now. The element to cut is this surface. The cutting element is this surface. And I'm going to say, you will see, I'm going to say intersect computation. Let me show you why. Let me not do that. Cancel. Let's say okay. It did cut it. Okay. Except that I don't want this piece. I want to get rid of this piece. Okay. So let me do the following. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. You may want to experiment to see whether you can do it without that. Intersect computation. Notice that it defined it right there. And then we say, okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say split that surface with this intersection. Okay. So maybe try the other one. Cancel. Split that surface with this guy. And I want the other side. Right there. Okay. So what you see here is this, except that this fellow has these end faces too. I don't have it because I did not extract the surfaces. Now, if you want, you can put a surface up here. Let me show you how. I don't want to do that, but this is by the way, let's hide all the sketches. So you know how to do that? You do Control F, means Control find all sketches, sketch, sketch, find and select, hide it. All the sketches are going to be gone. Good. This one I have to do that manually because that was not the sketch. This also, this was not a sketch, it was the result of computation. If you want to hide all the plane, the easiest way is to do Control F again. Planes, plane, oops, plane, find and select and hide it. All the planes are going to be gone. Now, in the event that you want to put a surface here, no problem. Well, I don't want to do that, but in the event I wanted to do that, I can go boundary, select this boundary, and then we say okay, and it's going to put a surface there. Now, here, because it's not closed, you can't do that. So let's try. So you have to do it some other way. See that? It's going to be nonsense. Cancel. But anyway, I did not want to do this. Did not need this. You don't want it? Just delete it. Can I deactivate? Yeah, I can also deactivate it in case you ever want to see it. All right. Good luck, folks.